Yeah, okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome on Triathlon Live TV.
Nein, das haben einfach
Das Stirnband abziehen, oder?
Wie?
Das Stirnband abziehen.
Soll ich weiterreden?
Ja. Ich befall nicht der Schnellste, tut mir leid.
Ist wieder rot. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome here in Suze for the Swiss Championship. Here is Nico Montavon commentating today for you. We're happy to welcome you and to give you an insight of the triathlon sport today in Switzerland. We're going to start in a few minutes with the first semi-final of the male. So as you can see, we're going to have Adrian Briffaut, number 1, who's going to race. I'm sure you know him. We're going to have then Simon Westermann, Maxim Fleury, Lars Hollenweger, Sascha Katerina, Jan Stettler, Ben Fay, Lucas Klante, and other guys coming in, a mix of elites, under 23 and juniors. Such a great opportunity today for the juniors to be able to race with the elites, to get a bit more experience, to learn, and to go back home with a bigger desire to improve, to come back next season even stronger, faster. So the semi-final for the male is going to be a bit shorter than the finals. So we're going to start with a 300 meter swim in the 50-meter pool of Suze Campus Arena. Then they're going to run into transition to take the bike and do 3 laps of 2Ks each with 2 U-turn for each laps. So quite a technical and fast course, going first uphill, then turning all the way downhill, turning back and doing that 3 times. And they're gonna finish up with 1 lap on the run, 1.5K today. It's not an easy run course, quite undulating. So we'll see who's going to be the strongest for this first semi-final. Athletes are ready behind the starting blocks. So that's always a good moment for the athletes, where they feel the pressure, or this nice moment where you just hear, okay, I've done the job, I'm gonna give my best, and let's race the other guys. So let's see. In a few seconds they're gonna start. And there we go, first semi-final of the men here in Suze. 300 meter swim as a semi-final. You know, it's very important to have a good race, of course, but for sure the most important is to save enough energy for the final. That's going to be a bit later for the men. So let's see who's going to be in the lead after 100 meters. As you can see, we have 1 or 2 people per lane, and they're all racing in their tri-suits, obviously, which is good. Here we have special conditions in Switzerland today, about 10 degrees outside and quite warm in the pool. So we'll see how they manage this difference of temperature. We have in this semi-final, as you know, Adrian Briffaut. Adrian Briffaut is one of the Swiss top triathletes trying to qualify for Tokyo next year. He's based near to Lausanne, training with his training group team athletes. He's been racing quite a lot recently, having he did a 70.3 last week in France, so we'll see today how he's feeling, if he still have enough energy to have a good race, even on this very, very short format, which is very interesting and passionate. In such a race like that, of a short format, it's very interesting for the juniors as well, because it's quite explosive. You need to be really on your top game, and we'll see today if we see a difference between the oldest athletes that like for some of them longer distances, and the young kids who are really enjoying having such short and intense workout. So we'll see how it's going to be. The second guy next to Adrian Briffaut is Simon Westermann. Simon is training in the area of Zurich with the TG Hütten. Very, very talented kid who's done great results recently. He started the year a bit injured in the Corona time, but was able to build some fitness and come back to a good level. We'll see today how he's feeling and what he's showing. He's going to show us. We'll see that. The third one, Maxime Fleury. Haven't seen him so far, but we'll see when he's coming out of the water. He's just the new Swiss champ duathlon. He won ahead of Adrien a few weeks ago in quite cold conditions. Very, very talented athlete as well. So now we've got our 2 athletes out of the water, Lars Ollenweger, Simon Westermann, great swimmers. Good swim from them. We've got Sasha behind, Sasha Katerina, first year under 23, Ben Faze here. We've got Florin Parfus as well, so 2 juniors at the end. Very interesting to see now how they're going to deal with that. So running quite a long run into transition. So Lars Ollenweger here in front of Westermann, Katerina, Ben Faye, Florin Parfus, and the other guy following up. So we'll see now if there's going to be a gap on the bike, how they're going to react to that, and let's enjoy that all together. So Adrian Briffaut is coming here in black. Maxime Fleury just entering transition as well. And we have other juniors following up. So as I told you before, we've got the first part uphill, about 200 meters, U-turn, and then a long way downhill, quite fast, technical. Lars Ollenweger pushing the pace, trying to get away from the pack just to secure a good race, so without stress. I didn't tell you so far, but the first 5 are going straight into the A final, and then the 6 best times in the 2 semi-finals are going to qualify for the A final as well. So they're going to try now just to get away, to secure the slot, and just then save as much energy as they can for this, the final. So for everyone that knows triathlon, we know that, you know certainly that it's so important when you're riding in a pack to be quite at the front, not to lose too much energy, but to stay quite protected from the wind as well. So they're gonna try to ride in a good pack, try to work together. They are right at the moment 6, so the first 5 is gonna qualify. And the most important thing is now turning at the bottom of the downhill. They're gonna have to make sure they're in the right gear to be able to surge quite well after that. Here we're right behind a junior, his second year in triathlon, Robin Triponnet. So for him, it's a good experience to come into this sport and to practice and to learn from those things. We had the testing days last weekend in Switzerland, where we had quite good performances from the kids. Here we're back at the front of the race with all the top guys. So Adrien Briffaut is here, Sasha Katerina, who did some good races in France. Good learning for his first year, under 23. We've got Ben Fay, still a junior. He's gonna have 1 more year in the juniors. He's training right now at the National Center in Wallisellen. He's doing really good training, lots of improvement. So let's see what he's gonna be able to show us. Simon Westermann at the front. We can see they're working well together, giving turns, trying to open the gap on the next group. So a really good job from the boys. In this group we have as well Jan Stettler. Jan Stettler is a triathlete based in Geneva. He went to Australia last year to train in a professional group with one of Brett's coaches. So we'll see today what's going to be able to show us. He's been training mainly on his own, but yeah, I spoke to him last week at the testing days, and he's done some good trainings, and looking forward to see what he's going to do today. We have the second group behind, with about 30 seconds behind, with some juniors in it. So Lukas Klante training in Zurich, Fredrik Stahl, a training partner from Simon Westermann. We've got Alexandre Picard, who's also as well a training partner, and at the end we've got Robin Triponnet and Jan Clem, who's just giving it a go with a young athlete, Andrea Alagona, who's training in Ticino. So we'll see what they're gonna do. We're here in the chase group with Lukas Klante, trying to push the pace and trying to make it work in the group. We'll see if they're gonna be able to close a bit the gap or not. The front pack is very experienced, and right now it seems they're working well together, giving turns, being at the front. for a few seconds, and then the other take over, which is always good as a triathlete in a triathlon if you can work in such a group. Adrian Briffaut and Simon Westermann at the front. We all know Briffaut is a good rider, really strong legs. It's gonna be a good waken up for his legs now after the long race last week. Very interesting to see how he's feeling today. I couldn't speak to the athletes prior to the race, so that's always good. I'm in the same position like you guys, just watching the race, observing and trying to see who's in good shape, showing good form in his leg. Here we've got Florent Parfus, young kid, young triathlete junior training in St. Gallen. Great swimmer. He was training in Davos this summer with the junior squad, where he had a great race at the end of the camp in the Mostiman in Austria. It was the qualifying race for the European Champs Juniors. Obviously, as you know, the champs have been cancelled, but yeah, it was good learning from him, good work. So let's see today if he can be on his own, if he can perform a good race today. So we soon at the end of the bike leg for the boys. So the first semi-final, they're gonna go downhill and turn a right-hand turn, corner, and then go back up and then into transition for the run. We've got a first group of 5-6 athletes. So the first 5 is gonna qualify. So let's see who's gonna have the legs to make it work. You can see there are 7 within 1 second. We see a small gap now, so interesting going into the run. So in this top group we haven't talked about Lars Ollenberger yet. Lars Ollenberger is training in Zurich at the National Center. He's done a few races this year where he had solid performances. He raced some 5,000 meters as well on the track. You know, this year with the coronavirus, it changed quite a bit the plans, and we could see a few athletes really enjoying the process and working hard to be better every day and to improve on different points, all the points they could control. So Lars, being a former swimmer, has improved a lot over the last few years, and even more in running, where we could see great improvements, running sub 15 over 5Ks. So always good. So now going into transition 2. So let's see who's gonna have the legs, who's gonna be able to be in this top 5 and save good energy for the next race. So in this top guys, we have Lars Hollenberger, Simon Westermann, Sasha Katarina, Maxime Fleury, Adrian Briffaut, and Ben Fay. So 6 athletes for the first 5 slots going straight into the A final. And then Jan Stettler got a bit dropped at the end, but let's see if he's got the running legs to close the gap and to qualify for the A final. Sasha Katarina leading the group. Sasha is such a powerful athlete, big guy, training down in Tessin. This year he focused just on training, improving, and his running and biking. And next to that, he did some French Grand Prix with his team, 2 races. And yeah, let's see. It's a good format for him. Very powerful athlete who's performed well in the juniors, placing in at the front in the World Champs on the Gold Coast. Didn't have the expected results in Lausanne at the World Champs at home, but as you know, being a junior, it's all about development and trying to learn every day and to be better. So yeah, let's see. Simon Westermann running behind with Lars Hollenweger, Maxime Fleury. It looks like Benfei is slightly dropping back. He's been racing as well, very well. He had a race last weekend or 2 weeks ago in the Bundesliga. Didn't go according to plan with problem on the bike. But yeah, he's performed very well at the Swiss race earlier this year in Aquathlon, where he had a solid performance with Luca Luberti, another junior you're gonna see later. So let's see what they're gonna show us. So here in the mix now we've got Maxime Fleury leading the top guys, Simon Westermann, Sascha Katerina, Adrian Briffaut and Lars Hollenweger at the back. I'm sure they're all gonna they will all have spoken to their coaches about the tactic during this race. So that's very interesting to see who's gonna be able to be fresh for the final round. So at the back we've got some other athletes trying to fight, and those ones have to go as hard as they can, because they know all that the first 6 or the fastest 6 athletes gonna qualify for the A final at the end of this race, or those 2 races. So there are no options for them. They're just gonna give it all to be able to race for the Swiss title later today. As you can see, the run course is not flat at all, who's gonna hurt the legs of everyone racing here. So being a short format like that, and uphill downhill, is just waiting quite a lot on the legs, and they're gonna have quite a long break after this race before starting for the final, and it's gonna be very important for them to be able to recover quickly and to make sure that they're not stiff for the final. So the first guy heading back home now, with Maxime taking the win on this first semi-final, followed by Sascha Katerina. Then we have Adrian Briffaut, followed by Simon Westermann. So good performances for them. As expected, the top guys here in Switzerland are at the front. Very good race from them. And the 5th one who's going to qualify is going to be Lars Hollenweger. So for those 5 guys, they're sure to go in the main final. And now Benfei crossing the line in 6th. What a good performance from him, first junior back home. We'll see then he's gonna be in the fastest 6 times overall. Jan Stettler, solid performance for him. He's been studying medicine this year, so as you know, medicine is not an easy one. So he had to balance it with training. So solid performance for him. Let's see if he's gonna qualify for the A final. So next one crossing the line is Théo Lacha, a French guy, French athletes training, racing for 3-Team Puy. It's a place next to Lausanne for the ones that have been last year in Lausanne World Champs. You know probably where it is, such a nice area to be training in, surrounded with good bike loops. Here we have a view on Lucas Clante. He's done a few races this year. Went out in Czech for racing. Did have solid performances and really good performances last weekend at the testing Swiss Tri. So we'll see what he thinks about his race when everyone's going to be down. Won't be able to interview the guys, but maybe we will get some insight from other people around. So almost all the guys are back home now. We still have Andrea Lagona, who's crossing the line now, and we have two athletes on their way home. Robin Triponet and Jan Klick, our German athlete, was here today racing for Basel. Obviously, I think if he's racing for them, he may be training with Cam Laumann, was in charge there of the training. You'll see another athlete from Cam in the next semi-final. It's Gaspar Riveros, who's training in Basel as well. So I hope you enjoyed the first race here. Here you've got a view on a few athletes. We saw Imogen Simons getting ready behind, and we've got the guys here with Alexandre Frederic Stahl, was training with Simon Westermann in Zurich, Tegehütten. I hope you enjoyed this first race. So now you know the route for the race. So we're gonna have in a few minutes the second semi-final, exactly on the same format. So 300 swim, then 3 laps of 2Ks on the bike, and followed by a 1.5K run. If we go through the first results, so as you could see, Maxime Fleury won the race, followed by Sasha, Katerina, Adrian Briffaut, Simon Westermann, and Lars Ollenweger, who all qualify for the A final. And for the race, for Ben, Fee, Jan Stettler, we're gonna have to see if they are in the 6 fastest times to qualify for the A final. And the other guys as well, we need to wait and see. If they don't qualify for the A final, they're all going to be racing in the B final on a longer distance, which is going to be 400 swim, 10K bike, and 2.5K run. The second semi-final is going to start very soon, so you just have time maybe to have a small snack or get something to drink, and then just hang on your TV or computer just to follow the second semi-final with strong athletes as well. So the top athletes, the more experienced athletes being in second semi-final are Florin Salvisberg, who's run 14:15 or 16 this year on a 5K track. We've got Gaspar Riveros, so, and before telling you all the other guys, we're just gonna have a short the highlights of the previous race. So the first two guys out of the water, Lars Hollenweger and Simon Westermann, training together, swimming together in Zurich, followed by other athletes like Ben Fay training with them as well. So I hope you enjoy this this first race with Maxime Fleury, our Swiss duathlon champ, who's crossed the line in first. As you can see, it's not easy. Sasha always smiling and being a really nice person, trying to help all the time his training partners. And there we go. In this beautiful pool of Sursee, which consists of 10 lanes of 50 meters. And now we're straight in the second semi-final. Apparently we're already 40 seconds in, with two people in the lead in this race. We have so Florian Salvisberg, you can see here, second guy, swimming next to Fabian Meusen. Fabian Meusen, former swimmer that has improved a lot over the last years as a complete triathlete. He ran a sub 15 on a 5K track recently, so very good job. I had a good talk with his coach recently as well. He's going to start the military program in a few weeks' time. It's going to be a very interesting period for him to be able to enter this program. So here we have Florian Salvisberg and Fabian leading the swim together. So you can see Florian apparently decided to have a tri-suit with a sleeve, apparently because of the cold weather. In this race next to them, so you have Thibaut de Kuurne, who's training with Adrian Briffaut, Alexis Leio, who's as well training with them. We have our junior Luca Luberti, who did perform very well at the aquathlon in Sion with Ben Fay you saw before. Luca had a good testing last week as well, running a 15 low on the track. So the first guys out of the water. So Luberti in fourth. We have Alexis Leio as well. Let's see how they're gonna transition. So Fabian Meusen first out of the water, followed by Florian Salvisberg. And then Sven Thalmann, Alexis Leio in fourth, Luca Luberti in fifth, Martin Sauser, who's training in Triviera. It's in Vevey, next to the Lac Léman. And let's see now what they're gonna show us. So, are Fabian and Florian gonna open a gap, or are they gonna let you guys coming in the group to work with them on the bike? So we've got the first guy, so Fabian out first, Florian next to him. And as you could see before, the first part here is going uphill, 200 meters U-turn, and then all the way down to the next corner U-turn. It's very important just to get in good rhythm now. Try to keep the advantage of a good swim. So it looks like we have 4 guys now who are gonna be together on this bike. Alexi Lerio, who's in second right now. He's a first year under 23 athlete, so training with Adrian Brifo, who's joined the team this year and doing good training. He improved quite a lot after in the first camp of the year with the Swiss team, with good learning. So let's see what he's going to be able to show us today. So very, very young and quite new to the sport, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see how he's going to deal with that. In fourth with him we've got Luca Luberti, second year as a junior, so he's the youngest maybe on this start, on this semi-final. Really strong junior who performed a good race in Lausanne last year as his first world champs. So very good swim bike runner. So let's see. So here we have a different race compared to the first one, where we have 4 guys at the front, knowing that the first 5 qualify. So it could be something quite tactical now if they want to try to save energy. Here we've got Florin Salvisberg leading the group. Here we've got Loïc Triponnet, the brother of Robin Triponnet. So Loïc raced the Youth Olympic Games in 2018 in Buenos Aires with a solid performance, getting he was 14th on the individual race and got 8th at the mixed youth relay. So let's see what's gonna show us today. He's been racing this year some French Grand Prix, tried to qualify for the finals in France as well, individual. He got 8th at the Riga European Cup this year. So good year of racing. He went to Australia earlier this year to try to be in a group down there where he could focus just on training. Obviously had to come back a bit earlier because of the coronavirus. So let's see how he could manage this break, coming back to Europe training and trying to have solid races. So we have the first group about 10 seconds, 15 seconds ahead of the chase group. They're into the second round, so let's see how it's gonna be. Florin Salvisberg is pushing the pace at the front. We'll see what is his tactic, if he's just trying to make to save his slot for a nice control run. So here we are with Martin Souza from Triviera, training with Mark Roth down there. So it's a training partner of Maxime Fleury, you saw before winning the race. He's got other brothers that are doing triathlon. Really nice guy. Came last weekend as well for the testing days. It's always very interesting to see those athletes in different type of environment, like today, being able to race. Thanks a lot to Swiss Triathlon who could organize this race to allow the people to have a Swiss championship here in Suze this year. I think that was very important for the athletes to be able to have a race on the Swiss soil. Sorry. So here, Martin Sauser and Loic Triponet trying to give their best, trying to be in those top 6 athletes, fastest athletes to try to qualify for the main final, the A final. So here, Florence Salzberg at the front, and we've got the 3 chasers: Fabian Meusen, Luca Luberti, Alexis Leio. Who are doing a good job, trying to save energy going into the main final. We'll see if it's a good tactic to play this way. Obviously, the top 4 athletes opened a bigger gap with the first chasers, including Thibaut Decune. Thibaut is as well a training partner of Adrien Briffaut, Alexis, and Pierre Moraz, who couldn't be here today because of injury. Thibaut's been in the system for quite a few years now. He's studying at the Federal Institute of Sport in Macklingen, which is helping him to have a good balance with in his program with his training and studying. We'll see today what he's gonna show. He ran a good time this year, a 15:04. In a 5k track, so good year I think for all the triathletes that could work on some specific things and could show that triathletes can actually run and run fast. Today we're just missing a few guys, and the first one is Max Studer. So I hope he's going well and he's enjoying the show at home. Maxim had to withdraw due to an injury. He performed very well this year. Got 10th a few weeks ago at the WTS Hamburg. What a good and solid result for him. Performed as well very well earlier this year in South Africa, where he won an African Cup during the training camp they had with his training group and the Swiss team. He ran a sub 14 as well on the track, so all a great year. And so if you're listening, Max, hope you have a good time and heal quickly. Second guy who's missing is Andreas Salvisberg, brother of Florin, who was at the front today. He's racing the Swiss champs 10,000 today. And we wish him good luck too. So we're now going into transition 2 with Florin, who opened a nice gap for him for the run, followed by the 3 guys here. So Luca Luberti, Fabian Meusen, Alexis Leio. Let's see what they're gonna do on the run. Good transition from Luca Luberti. And now onto the run, 1.5k on an undulating course. So here we have Sven Thalmann, who's following. So right now our first 5 athletes are Florin Salvisberg on first, second Luca Luberti, Fabian Meusen third, Alexis Leio fourth, and Adrian Haller on 5th. So top 5 athletes are going straight into A final, as you know. So let's see who's going to do what. So we've got here Thibaut Decune from Team Athlete. We've got here behind some juniors racing, trying to get as much experience as they can. Maxime Juera, Lucas Molnar from 3-Star Cats Wallisellen. I'm sure they're all enjoying being here in Suze in the sport campus. So now we've got Luca Luberti, who's just going in front of Florin Salvisberg. They're going up to the U-turn, and then they're gonna have to go all the way downhill. Again, those differences in incline are quite hard on the legs. Even the downhill that are hurting quite a lot. The quads are working in eccentric. So let's see who's going to be able to manage that the best. So here we've got in first Luca Luberti, second Florence Salvisberg, in third Adrian Haller, and followed by Fabian Meusen. Very interesting to see all those different tactics and approach into the race. As I told you before, it's always a matter of who's going to be the freshest for the next round, who's going to be a bit longer. Here we've got our Youth Olympic game athletes, Loic Tripone, who's going to have to push the pace if you want to qualify for the A final. Who showed a great run last weekend at the testing in Worcester. You can see some athletes looking back to see if they're safe or not. Those athletes here, Maxime Juera and Jeff Cook from Triverdon, trying to give their best so to qualify maybe in the top 6 athletes. We've got athletes who did not who DNF'd. Hopefully he's fine. Gaspar Riveros, maybe he had a technical on the bike. So we're right at the end of the race. First athletes getting into the finish line in a few seconds. So first qualifier is going to be Luca Luberti, followed by Adrian Haller and Florence Salvisberg. Fabian Meusen in 4th, and Thibaut Decune could save his place in the A final by getting 5th. Sven Thalmann in 6th and Alexis Leo in 7th. So let's see now who's going to qualify for the finals, A finals or B finals. As you can see, it's never easy. Always good races, strong field. and Loic Triponet coming in 8th. So we'll see, he may qualify for the A final. So I hope you enjoy this race here in Suze. A really nice place to be able to run this triathlon. So the last athletes getting through the final lane, the finish line. Sorry, so with Maxime Juera, who raced this year at the Mostiman in Austria. We have Lukas Molnar, who's training Trista Katz-Wallisellen. Eric Jacobe from Basel, who's a training partner from Casper Riveros. So Eric ran really good time recently over 3K, so sub 9. So he's from 2003. So yeah, good development from him. So you could see the list and now the final list, and now you've got the highlights of this race. So again, we're swimming in Suze and Sport Arena, where we had Fabian Mösen first out of the water, followed by Florin Salvisberg. Sven Thalmann, who got third, and Luca Luberti with a solid swim into the bike. Really fast bike with those U-turns, 6 in these semifinals, and you're gonna have 10 U-turns in the next round, where we're gonna start first with the girls. The women, we only have the final, which is a 400-meter swim, a 10K bike, and 2.5K run. So it's gonna be very, very interesting to see those athletes performing into such a short format, where we're gonna have our Olympic winner Nicolas Pirik racing here against some young athletes. Always good for them to have such a great athletes coming in the race, showing up, and trying to push them so that they can improve a lot. So the race of the women's gonna start in about 10 minutes at 1:45. So in the meantime, I hope you're gonna enjoy a nice time home, and we'll see us in few minutes just before the start of the women, with a strong field lining up. Welcome back here in Suze for the Swiss Champ. We're gonna go now into the finals, starting first with the women, lining up Nicolas Pirig, our gold and silver medalist at the Olympic Games, followed by Ilaria Zane, Yolanda Annen, one of our Swiss top triathletes as well, um, who raced a few weeks ago in Hamburg, and was coming back with a strong legs. We have then Alisa Koenig. Alisa's training in Zurich at the National Center with Gordon Crawford. We've got Lisa Berger, who was in Hamburg as well, with Alisa too, so our top girls were all racing there. Nicola racing here in Switzerland at the same time. On fifth we have, of sixth we have Nora Gmür. Nora is a junior, second at the European Champs last year in Vert, and we got seventh at the World Championship in Lausanne. We welcome as well a long distance athlete, Imogen Simons, who's living in Geneva and raced last weekend in Germany. We have other talented athletes here with Liana Bissig, Anja Weber, who got 8th last year in Lausanne at the World Champ, who's gold and bronze medalist at the Youth Olympic Games in 2018. And we have as well Livia Vespe, who just won the 5000 under 23 on the track a few weeks ago. And we have other young athletes that are going to learn and race against the top athletes here in Switzerland. So this time they're going to swim 400 meters. So 4 times out and back in the pool before going into, and we have a first start. Okay, let's go in the race. No one knows what to do, if they have to, apparently they have to stop. Okay, everyone has to go back to his slot and have a second start. That wasn't planned, but sometimes as part of the sport, athletes gonna have to come back, focus again before the start of the race. So we'll see now who's gonna be able to focus again and just get ready and do the race. Again here we're going straight into the final. At the end of this race we're gonna have the Swiss champ. Who's going to be named? Who's going to be crowned? So here again, what happened at the beginning of the race, the false start, and everyone had to go back to the place. So as I told you before, Nicolas Pirig is racing here today. It's great for us to see her here. She's a lovely woman who's coming sometimes at the National Center as well to help, to inspire the athlete there and to just encourage them to train and be better every day. Such a great example for us here in Switzerland to have her here. So let's see now on the second start what's going to happen. And let's go. We're officially going into the final for the women. So we'll see now who's going to be able to push the pace from the beginning and have the best race at the end of the day. As we spoke before, for the boys, it's a really short format. It was giving the opportunity to the young athletes as well to perform at a good level. It's not too long. It's challenging a bit as well the athletes that are more used to longer distances. So let's see who's gonna be able to have the best out of this race. As a reminder, here we are in Suze at the Sport Campus, where we have a great race that has been organized by the team here. Really great facilities with this 50-meter pool going outside then on the course, which is close to traffic. So really nice to see that happening here in Switzerland during this difficult year. It's been something special for everyone, so hope everyone's listening now is safe and could enjoy a good season back home. Hope you could train in good conditions, and hopefully you could have some races just to show up the work you've been doing during that time. So here we are at the front of the race with Anja Weber. Anja Weber was one of the top swimmers in Switzerland as a triathlete. She's training with TG Hütten, so that's the club and team of Simon Westermann, who raced before, Fabian Mösen as well. I know she's doing as well cross-country skiing, and she's performing in both sports, so very interesting to see what she's going to bring up today. Here we have right down at the bottom of the screen Nora Gmür, our silver medalist last year at the European Champs in Wörth, who's training was coached by Pirmin Christen. She's training as well sometimes at the National Center, trying to have a good balance, being able to train as well in an environment where top athletes are coming. So we have athletes like Nikola Spirig, Alisa König, Petra Kurikova, Czech athletes who got 10th last World Cup in Karlovy Vary. So a good environment for her to come and train with those athletes. So Alisa König and Nora Gmür have been training together as well this summer in St. Moritz. They went to a few races in Czech as well. Tried to learn, and they did obviously good, getting second for Alisa and fourth for Nora. Nora is still a junior athlete. Who's going to move in the under 23 next year. So let's see how the race is going to go. So we have Alisa König here in second. Oops, sorry, it was Yolanda Ahnen in second. So first girls out of the water with Anja in first, followed by Yolanda. So again, a long transition from the pool to the bike transition. Yolanda pushing the pace. She doesn't want the other athletes coming back in the wheels. So it's going to be very interesting to see if those few girls going to get out. In third, we've got our Italian athletes who's racing today. Ilaria Zane, who's got good performances of a World Cup last year. I don't know what she did this year, but obviously a strong performance last year over sprint distances in World Cups and even on Olympic distance. So first transition, first girl out. We can see Alisa Koenig at the bottom of the screen. Nora Gmür, Anja Weber is onto the bike. We've got Lisa Berger coming in and the first girls on the bike. So Jolanda Ahnen now. Well prepared, gloves on the bike, ready to get into the gloves, not getting cold. As a small remember, here it's quite cold now, so 10 degrees outside. Few days we had 23, 26 degrees, and within 2 days we have snow here in Switzerland. So let's see the girls where they're at and see how they're gonna do those 10k bike course with those 10 U-turns during the course. As you know, maybe those U-turns are killing your legs. You have to surge and push quite high watts to get back into a nice rhythm. So let's see who's going to be able to manage that the best, and being able then to race at a high pace. So Jolanda Ahnen, who had a solid performance in Hamburg, coming back into racing after a problem this year, an foot injury, where she had to go back home from camp in South Africa. She's a really strong minded athlete. She's very dedicated to her sport and always open to help the others. Alisa Koenig here pushing the pace, training at the National Center in Zurich, Wallisellen. She's made huge improvements over the last years, good learning and going step by step further up. So she raced so in Czech obviously, where she got second behind Petra Kurikova, but she raced last weekend, 2 weeks ago, sorry, 3 weeks ago in Hamburg, getting experience at the highest level and coming back and being inspired to be better every day. So really very, very interesting to see all those athletes in training, trying to give their best and to show up good races then. So very, very interesting to see how it's going to be. So here we have the chase back with Alisa Koenig, Anja Weber. The Italian girl. I don't have the live timing, sorry, I can't inform you much more about that. Oh, okay, now it's back to here. So we've got Jolanda that is leading the race alone at the front, followed by a group of 4 athletes now. So Anja Weber, Alisa Koenig, Nora Gmür, Anja and Nora being the juniors in this group, Alisa on second, and behind them we have on 6 Nicolas Pirig, who's making her way back. So we'll see now if those girls can work together and try to close the gap with Jolanda at the front. We all know that if you have a good group working together, working well together, it is easier to go faster. You can save much more energy going too fast down hills or up hills. And we have the biking that is getting organized, with the girls coming together into a bigger group, with Yolanda still leading, going first, being on her handlebars at the front. Yolanda's been training well, did her first 5k race on a track, running a 16:20:23. That was really a brilliant race for her, coming back from this foot injury. She really took time to heal that and to train what she could train. So let's see what she's gonna do today, but looking good so far. Big group of girls now on the chase pack. Let's see if they can get organized and close the gap, or if Yolanda's gonna be stronger than the group. We can see a strong position, strong bike leg so far from Yolanda. See as well Nicolas Pirik pushing the pace, closing a few seconds on the first chase back. Oh, she's at the front right now actually, so let's see now if she's gonna pull the girls with her, do the job to close the gap. Or it's very interesting actually to see that. And trust me, as a junior, as an athlete, if you're able to just take example on Nicola, that's such a great experience now to be there and just see, okay, if I want to be the best or one of the best in the world, this is the requirements. This is where I need to be. So being able to have juniors, under 23s and elites racing together, you can't see that everywhere in the world, and here the organizers did a very good job now organizing that for those athletes. It's so inspiring for everyone, and as a coach we're always very happy to see that it's about promoting the sport and helping all the people. And as I told you earlier, Nicola's coming sometimes at the National Center, and she's inspiring the athletes here to train at the required level. You can see now by pushing the pace like that, who's got the legs to follow that crazy pace on the bike. Earlier this year as well, the Swiss team, we had a camp down in South Africa, where for the first time since quite a long time, we had all the best Swiss athletes joined by a few international athletes in a camp, and we're so grateful to have Nicola and her group and her coach Brett to be here with everyone, having great sessions together. You know, as in a sport like triathlon, you need to have a team to push you and to go to the next level. And it's so brilliant when you see all those athletes together. They're racing each other, but in training they're helping them each other. So that's something really great about triathlon, where people are all down to earth and they just try to work as much as they can, or not always as much as they can, but as good as they can. So let's see now who's gonna be in a position to win this race. We see the chase pack slowly closing the gap on Yolanda, and now Nicola will push the pace. Let's see who's going to be able to follow. I think that's Alisa Koenig behind. Oh, Nicola closed the gap on Yolanda. So let's see now, the champ, as we call her, what she's gonna show us and how she's gonna inspire those athletes today. As you know, Nicola had a crash in training a few months ago. Now she's back. She's been racing recently, some triathlons back home here. Didn't have a lot of events, but she took the chance to race them and to get into a nice rhythm of racing. We've got here our young athlete, Anja Weber, who had the fastest swim today. And at the front we've got our top girls in Switzerland. So Yolanda Ann, Nicola Spirig, Alisa Koenig, Lisa Berger. Very interesting, three girls fighting for the title. It's not gonna be an easy one for sure for any of them. It's brilliant to see such a race now organized in Switzerland after this difficult period. We've got our Italian girl here, who's trying to give her best. Yeah, it's never easy when you have such strong bikers like Nicola, Yolanda, Alisa and Lisa. Trust me, I've been in the camp and well, I was trying to follow them at some point to give some feedback and so on. Yeah, I blew up, so it was quite a funny one this time. And the girls now, they like to say that during training. But yeah, the best in that is to see the improvements. So really happy for them to see it's working like that, and it's just showing that the work that they're putting into the training is working. So happy days for the athletes and the coaches as well. So not at the back at the race, a bit further down in the race, we have good athletes performing well. We have a young athlete, Rebecca Betty from Geneva, who's riding with Imogen Simons. You know, I know those two athletes been training together in the pool down there where we were in lockdown. So Rebecca was 2002. Was so pleased to be able to train with Imogen Simons. You know, like when you're training with an athlete who's performing so well over long distance, it's just a good booster for your mind. And now they're racing together, so that's brilliant to see again. So different type of people, not type, you know, younger and older athletes competing together. Such a great sport for that. So trust me, if you were there and trying to hang on this bike right now, going up this hill, your legs would just burn so hard. I've tried that in the past, being in different training groups with top riders like Lisa Norden, who crushed the race last weekend in Germany and was performing at the World Champs cycling this weekend. It's crazy that they're really strong girls, and the level now we saw that in Hamburg as well, and Carlo Vivari, the girls, the level now has improved so much over this last period where they could work on the bike and running skills. It's crazy. So if you take a WTS now, even in the women's race, you'll see crazy times, running times off the bike. Yeah, that's brilliant, and that's so good for the sport to see that, and that's so motivating for everyone, because you see if you work well, you do the job every day, days in, days out, you can be there. So it's about being consistent in your approach, doing every single days the things you've got to do to be better. Don't have to be a world champ every day, you just need to get the best out of every single days. And I think all those athletes that are performing there at that level, that's exactly what they're doing. And here we see Imogen Simons, who scored our Italian goal. You can see this strong cyclist coming from Ironman or long distance. Yeah, that's brilliant to see such athletes. You know, that's such a special year where you can try to do something different, and that's brilliant. And now we see Nicola is trying to push the pace harder and harder, try to break the group. Let's see how they're gonna cope, deal with that. We've got Alisa Koenig in second behind Nicola, making great improvements, and she was in the team last year in Nottingham, where Switzerland scored second at the WTS there on a triathlon format. So we know that she's a strong athlete, very powerful, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it's going to be with Nicola and the other girls. Lisa Berger at the back, she was in the team with Nicola at the front when they got second in Glasgow at the European Champs Mixed Team Relay. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see who's going to be able to win this race, because you can't say now, knowing that they can all perform on short distance like that. And obviously we got Yolanda Annan, who was for her first Olympics 14th in Rio. She's a great athlete. They're all now onto the run, and let's the game start. The final push, 2.5K on the run. It's 2 loops on this hilly course, so you have to be fast, but you have to be as well very strong, because it's gonna count on your legs. So we've got now Imogen in transition with the Italian girl Tano and Anja Weber, who managed to stay with them. And they're on their run. Let's see if Imogen can have this power in her legs to close even the gap and to go further up. We've got Anja Weber now, first junior into the run. Anja raced in the Mostiman in Austria this year, where she qualified as first Swiss athlete for the European Champs that were planned in Tartu. So let's see if she can still be the first junior back home. So at the front of the run now, we've got Nicola and Yolanda, our top 2 athletes in Switzerland. It's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be really, really interesting, and knowing they both had some changes in the training approach, because two things that happen in training. It's really, really nice to see that. Now we've got Nora Gmür, our Swiss athletes. We got second last year at the European Champs. So lots of people now on the run. Livia Vespe, our Swiss under-20 and under-23 5K champ, who won the aquathlon in Sion for the juniors this year. And now it looks like Nicola is opening a small gap to Yolanda. Let's see if Yolanda is going to be able to close this gap or stay with her during the end of this race. Just behind those two girls, you can see Alisa, who's chasing them with Lisa Berger. Lisa is training with the French coach up in Font-Romeu. It's Pierre Pompili. I hope he's doing well. If you listen, hi Pierre. And now you can see they're gonna fight for the third slot. Always interesting to see those athletes showing up in a race. They were all racing, both racing in recently, Alisa and Lisa, with strong performances, lots of learning. So that's great to see them at this level as well. We've got in fifth our Italian girl, Zane, was going nicely into the run. Is she closing the gap? Maybe. We'll just see after. Imogen following her. What a great experience for a long distance athletes to come back to the start of short course distance and being able to perform and being in the mix of the top athletes here. So here at the front, Nicolas Pirig, a 6-time European champion, 2 times or 1-time gold and silver medalist at the Olympic Games, just making her way into the second lap, being first, opening the gaps slightly. It's always impressive when she's coming at the National Center to train. You can feel the environment is changing, where a lot of athletes just observing, trying to do the same, and she's talking to them as well. So it's brilliant when you have such an athlete who's just giving back what she's got from the sport. She's running a series for the young kids as well to motivate them to be in the sport. We've got here a girl from J3, coached by Walter Bürki. It's nice to see those young athletes being here. Yolanda behind is doing a good job hanging on. We'll see. It's not finished yet. It's really pleasant to see that she's back there, and she's showing that her training is working. We've got Alisa in third. Alisa Koenig will open a gap on Lisa. Alisa is our Swiss champ, won last year in Sion, the Swiss championship. She changed 2 years ago her approach to training, and she's making progresses. So I'm sure she's going to be pleased to be in the mix and to be back on the podium if she can hang on up to the end of the race. So for all the fans of triathlon in the world, hope you enjoy that, and you enjoy as well the quality of racing. I'm sure the organizers would be happy to have you next year if the situation gets better. We can see now that we can organize, even in such a difficult period, good races with a strong field. So it's always good for all the athletes, and if you can attract the best athletes in the world, like Nicola and Yolanda, just showing to everyone that the organizers can produce a good race, and with good security and it's safe for the athletes. So we've got Nicola first in on the finish line, just won the race. Our new Swiss champion, followed by Yolanda. You can see it's so hard. It's not long, but you go so hard that at the end you just, wow, you can't feel your lungs, they're burning, even when it's just 10 degrees outside. And there we go with the third woman back home, Alisa. What a good race from her. So she's learning every day, and that's good, learn from the best. So well done to all those 3 girls. What a great job. Well done to Lisa Bergen, our 4th back home. So solid race, and we've got Zane, the Italian girl, here at the finish line.
Attention maintenant la 6e athlète, il s'agit d'une athlète de Genève, Simon Imogen. Bravo Imogen, bravo. Bravo.
So I hope you enjoyed this race. We'll see who's gonna come back home next. So we've got Imogen Simons, who's back home now. What a good race for her to be on this short format after racing last weekend 5150 in Germany. It's such a different course, type of course. So that's great to see this mix again. We've got here Matthias Echt. He's running the facilities here in Suze. A huge thank you for letting the race, or for making it possible to have this race here. We've got Anja Weber, who's on the line now, first junior back home. What a good race. A great swim for her. Now she's training as well, as I told you earlier, for cross-country skiing. So a very polyvalent girl, very talented in both sport. And we've got Rebecca Betty, who's back home as well. You could see her being congratulated by Imogen Simons, training partner during this Corona time back down in Geneva. So it's so great to see those people all together, being able to do that. You can see the boys getting ready for the race, and if we go down to the ranking list now, the final, so Nicola Spirig won the race ahead of Yolanda Ahnen, second and third Alisa König. That's the podium for this Swiss champ this year, 2020. What a great race from the women. We hope to see 2 more great races now, with coming up first the B final of the men, and then the A final, who's gonna name the main Swiss champ for this year 2020, where we're gonna have the Swiss champion Florence Salvisberg, we're gonna see Florence Salvisberg and an advanced before top athletes mixing up with Fabian Meusen and Simon Westermann and some of the other strong guys in the group. We're looking forward now to have maybe an interview of Nicola. Where we have the prize giving now. So third, Alisa Koenig, second, Yolanda Ahnen, and the winner, Nicolas Pirik. There you go, our 3 champions for this 2020 season. We're gonna have now an interview from our girls with Dennis van der Per, who's gonna be there as the main guy to do the interview.
Wir nehmen gleich. Wo machst du dein Interview? Okay, wir machen es später. Noch 2, ja. Für Triathlon live. Ja, kommt gleich. Auf Englisch? Okay, okay.
Nee, du Französisch.
Nein, schon klar. So Nicola, it was the Swiss Championships. How did you feel on such a format in a cold weather?
It was. I didn't know what to think before the start. I had a crash a few weeks ago, so I could train normally again, but I wasn't sure how much I lost during that time. So I went in. It was a very short race. It was okay for the cold. I was very glad on the bike. It wasn't as cold as I thought. I had a weird race, the first time in 20 years I had a penalty for a false start. So that was a bit of a challenge, but I think I could challenge the other ones on the bike, and then I was just giving everything in the run, and I made it for another Swiss champion title.
Cool. Thank you very much. Just a last question. What about all those young ones starting with you? How do you feel with that?
I'm very happy I can still beat them, so that's really nice. But it's great to have everyone here, and I think it's inspiring for everyone. It's a good challenge for me, but it's also they see how far they have to go, where they have to go. So it's good to have the championships here.
Great, thank you very much, and you can go to the next one. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we have the highlights here after a good comments, good interview with Nicola. So we have the top swimmers getting first on the bike, with Yolanda, who tried to push the pace, going solo for most of the bike, trying to break away, staying away from Nicola and the group behind. Good swim from Tane, the Italian girl. Then we had the chase pack getting bigger, with Nicola pulling some girls with her. And you could see Yolanda was having good position on the bike, trying to push as hard as she could to stay away. And then Nicola pushing the pace, going up the hill, trying to close the gap with the other girls. Lisa Berger here at the front. Change of dynamic in the race then, with the top girls at the front on the bike, opening a gap on the field, and was going onto a battle between 4 girls for the medals of this championship. Good, great transition from Nicola, going out first, and then the girls following. You know, as a triathlete, it's so important to have a fast transition. It can bring you in a top slot, or you can stay in the group without spending too much energy. Then good solid run from Nicola and Yolanda. Difficult course going up and downhill. It's killing the legs. Nicola just pushing the pace downhill. And with our long distance champ, Imogen Simons, being there as well. Hard race from the girls. Never easy on such short distance. And as Nicola said, she really enjoyed being here and mixing it with the youngest talent in Switzerland. It's good for her because she's still she could show that she's still fit and able to fight with the girls, and most important is it's a good example for the young athletes to know where they have to be at the top level in the world. So it's always very inspiring. So we're gonna head soon into the men B final. So as you know, we had the semi-finals before to choose our 16 top athletes for the A final, and the rest of the field is gonna just perform a race into the B final. Great opportunity to get more racing and learning for everyone. The course is going to be exactly the same like before, and just the distances are going to be a bit slightly longer. So we went from semi-final with the 300s meter swim, 6k bike and 1.5k run, and now we're going into 400 meter swim. So it's 4 times out and back in the pool, then 5 laps of 2Ks in the bike. It's going to be really hard for the legs after the first race, long rest in between, a mix of cold and warm. It's going to be very, very interesting. And then we're going to finish with a 2 laps on the run, 2.5k undulating, so hard on the legs. So it's going to be about who's going to be the strongest to make it, to go the fastest to the finish line. The first final is going to start in about 15 minutes. So in the meantime, we're gonna let you enjoy a nice break, maybe have a snack, enjoy your time, and then let's see us back in about 10 minutes for another live commentary. Enjoy your break. Cheers.
Ich habe einen Rico. Ich wohne, also dort habe ich zu Hause gewohnt. Ja, aha. Ja. Und die ist in den angefangen hat, das Mädchen, ich weiß nicht, mal eine Lektion in Tennis, mit Schweizer Jugendfernsehen. Dann musste ich mit ihr die Übungen machen auf dem Tennisplatz. Ja, ja. Früher Region. Aha, klein. Ja, ich bin natürlich mit Zentren nach Hause. Aber das ist konkret vor 20 Jahren, 77. Das ist eben auch noch ein Unterschied. Also mit 55 habe ich gearbeitet als Erwachsener. Tennis, ja. Tennis, all die Guten, mit all die Wie heißt das? Fischer. Ah ja, ja. Klein. Oder Dutzend, ja. Niveau nicht mehr so stark ist wie vor 30 Jahren. Aber ein dicht gibt es sein. Das ist ein Schausplatz.
Hast du viel Horino kennt?
Ich kann nicht kennen, aber was ich halt die alten Trainer alle kennen, oder zum Beispiel ich bin nein, aber gut. Also, weißt du, mit Menschlichkeit. Aber wenn einer nichts erzählt, dann ist er schnell, ist er nicht mehr bei mir gewesen. Nicht alle zügige Bayern, Zürich.
Doch,
Jedes
auch geschafft.
Ja, ja.
Dann ist die Frage, wenn es das Wert nur dann sich ein Dispo
Ja, ich wäre auch nur für zahlen, wenn ich Fähigkeiten hätte.
Ja, nein, wir haben es noch nicht gesagt. Das ist schwer, das läuft in eine andere Welt, oder? Du schaffst und dann bist du dann
Du bist doch mal ein gewisses Niveau als spielen. Super spannend, wenn einer gut spielt, ich habe nicht alle 3-4 Staffeln.
Aber es wird ein guter Tourismus-Record, das ist gut.
Ja, also,
Willst du das? Der Nerv macht es nicht okay.
Ja.
40% für den Schuh, immer noch völlig gut.
Ja, ein Stück. Weißt du, also wenn einer oben durchspielt, hat er natürlich ein Stück Gras. Aber die Stücke, die Stücke sind nicht. Weißt du, ich meine, Materialschaden.
Wir sind eine Bauernfamilie, meine Mutter geht über alles, wir sind für Sport und für das, die haben alles schon.
Bist du aufgewachsen? Ah, Luzerner. Oder nein, Aargau.
Aargau, Luzern.
Ja, ja.
Sag ich immer noch.
Oder zum Beispiel im Aargau Tennis mit dem Regenplatz. Also mein Schwiegersohn, meine Tochter, das wohnt in Luzern.
Ah ja?
Ja, ja. Ah ja.
Wie heißt das?
Romano Bieler.
Ah, Bier. Ja, gut, Bier ist gut.
Wie rot
Bier gibt es
ja, ja. Und das ist mein Enkel, ein kleiner mit den Junioren. Sportplatz kennen. Aber durch das, dass ich in Switzerland, das war so, ich hatte es dann als Lehrpersonal gehabt, dann habe ich natürlich mehr zu tun, mit dem Zentrum und mit den Platzplänen.
Was hast du nebenan gesagt? Immer denkt,
Also,
als Junge bist du nicht gut gewesen, oder? Als Junge bist du
nein, ich habe recht Fußball gespielt, gut, einigermaßen. Ich habe gewonnen als ich gespielt.
Ah ja, okay.
Fußball und dann bin ich finanziell. Dann bin ich
Alle Sachen, hä?
und dann bin ich auf der Bank in Zürich. Ich bin zwar im Kader, Abteilung gehabt.
Sag
Aber
mal,
jetzt habe ich Fußballverein, ich habe ein Schwein gehabt, dann habe ich Ziege gehabt.
ich sage immer,
Ja,
das
und
Wichtigste.
dann ist auch das Problem,
Das.
das habe ich. Das ist 50 Jahre. Es ist halt auch
Das Charakter.
wenn du natürlich einfach gierig bist, egoistisch.
Ja, einfach trainieren und das Kollege jetzt gerade so einen Job hat. Sagen wir, wartet die Inflation?
Nein, ja, fein. Wenn du denen den Finger schaust.
Ja, wir sagen. Früher bis Uhr und nachher hat es
Habe ich Tourgespräch bei der gewusst, dass ich über die Man kann es sagen, ja. Aber von morgen bis 6 Uhr. Die hat man nicht, weil ich schon Familie gehabt.
Départ dans un peu plus de 1 minute pour la finale B des hommes. À ce start, jetzt in 1 Minute für das B-Finale der Männer. Départ en 30 secondes.
Welcome back here in Suze for the Swiss Championship Triathlon. We're here for the first final, so the B final for the men, so the one who didn't qualify for the main final, and there we go. We start this first final, so 400-meter swim, followed by a 10k bike and a 2.5k run. This is such a good opportunity for those young kids now to have a second race, to show up the best form, and let's see who's gonna be back home the first one. So in this B final we've got number 16 Lucas Plante, followed by Florin Parfus, Jeff Cook, Maxime Juera, Andrea Alagona, Lucas Molnar, Eric Jakober, Robin Triponet, Frédéric Stahl, Martin Sauser, Jan Klick, and the last one, Alexandre Picard. So let's see now who's gonna take the lead, who's gonna be the freshest after the first race. Before again here in Switzerland, the sun is starting to shine slightly, but it's quite cold, 10 degrees after having a kind of summer week last week where we had 28, 26 degrees. So let's see. As you can see, we have different type of swimmers here. Some of them working more on rhythm, some others just having a longer phase at the front. Some people breathing just on one side, other on two sides. You can see those two top guys here, they're not kicking a lot. So the kicks is just to give a bit of rhythm and balance, but nothing more because they have to jump on the bike right after that. So they try to save energy like that. So that's one of the specificities in triathlon. You try to define the better mix between the three disciplines, because you can't just take all the disciplines apart, you need to match them together so you have the best out of it at the end. I was listening yesterday to a podcast of Vincent Lewis, which was very interesting because he's been asked if he was impressed by the times some of the top athletes have been running during the corona time, and he just replied, you know, we know who's a good runner or who's not the best runner, but at the end you need to be able to run fast after a swim and a strong bike. So it doesn't matter if you run 13:28 on a 5k track or 14 or 1 or so. At the end of the day, the one's going to be the fastest in triathlon is the one who's going to be able to manage the three disciplines. So let's get back to the race now, where we're heading to the end of the swim with our strong swimmer here. Let's see who is he. It looks like it's someone from Tegehütten, so it may be Alexandre Picard in the black tri-suit. Hope I'm not wrong. Still 100 meter to go. So you can see here good rhythm, turning the arms, not wasting time at the front. So yeah, solid swim from these athletes, young athletes. So we'll see now how much he's gonna be in lead and what he's gonna do. Is he gonna try to do like Landa Arnen before, trying to go solo and ride as hard as he can, or is he just gonna try to wait on a few guys to work together? So it looks like that's Freddy's style at the front here. I think I made a mistake before. Yeah, of course it is Freddy's style from TG Hütten. So let's see how far it's going to be at the front now. A long transition, slightly going uphill. We have two guys right behind. So another guy from TG Hütten. He forgot to go around the cone. That's where you see those small details. All the big champions are always aware of that, and they make the best out of it. So first guy, again, have to change. It's Florin Parfus. It's coming a former swimmer, really strong swimmer, followed by Martin Sauser here. And there we go with Frederick Stahl, followed by Lucas Klante. Cook from Triathlon. Alexandre Picard following. So let's see how those boys are gonna get organized. Quite a strong lead from Florin Parfus. Let's see if he can keep the pacing on the bike. So Florin joined the junior team in Davos this summer for the camp there. Really great collaboration with Davos, where we could train 3 weeks. So he just showed a lot of improvements being in this triathlon group, other training partners, and he performed well then in Austria. In Austria we had this race, which was a TT race, so he got second Swiss back home and second triathletes overall, so he can ride his bike obviously. So let's see now what he's gonna be able to show. We've got here Maxime Jura coming from the swim. So we still see here a few bikes in the transition. It may be the bikes from the guys for the next final. Looking at the numbers, and it looks like it is the number of the guys for the second final. So here we come back at the front of the race with Florin Parfus. He's coached by Fabian Kremser in St. Gallen, and chased by Lucas Klante. Lucas Klante is training at the National Center in Wallisellen. He made the move a bit more than 1 year ago, and improved or showed a great improvement last weekend in the testing. So it's a small group of 3. So Lucas Klante, 4, Jeff Cook, Martin Sauser, and let me check, Frederik Stahl from TG Hütten. So let's see what this group's gonna do. If they're gonna be able to close the gap on Florin Parfus. In a TT race like now for Florin, it's very important to have a good rhythm, good position, and try really to save energy, to win those extra watts. You can save by a good position on the bike, trying to have always a nice movement, pushing and pulling on the pedals. It's about activating all the muscles and not only the quads. Again, before we were speaking about swimming, but now on the bike, if you just use your quads, it's going to be hard to run fast after that, so trying to find a good balance with that. Here we got with the chase group, first chase group. It's going to be interesting to see if they can collaborate and just close the gap, you know, giving turns like we saw on the first semi-final, where the first group was riding very well together, giving turns, staying at the front few seconds, and the next one coming in. In training, we're practicing that because they need to be aware at the highest level. This is what you're supposed to do if you want to go hard. We could see that on the last races in Carlo Vivari, for example, the first group working well together. And trust me, if you're in a group with Alistair Brownlee, he's not gonna let you do no work. He's gonna push you to do that. So it's important when you're young to learn how to do that as well. So let's see if this group of young triathletes can get organized and give good turns to try to close the gap. So if you don't know, when you're riding in a group like that, the first one's gonna have the most resistance. And then if you stay in the wheel quite close, you're gonna have less resistance, or you're gonna save energy. So if you give the turns and collaborate well together in the group, then you know you'll be at the front, push a bit more watts, and then you're gonna give the turns, and then the next one's gonna push more watts, and you're gonna save a bit watts behind. So I would say now in a group of 4, if they get well organized, they can really push the pace high and try to close the gap. Of course, as I told you before, Florian Parfus did a good performance this year in the Mostiman, riding solo. So it's not easy neither to catch someone who's a strong cyclist. So it looks like Lucas Clante is doing quite a lot of job trying to close the gap. Let's see if he's gonna be able to do it on his own, or if the others gonna start to collaborate and make sure they can go for the win for this first final, so final B. Again, we want to give a huge thank you for the organizers being here in Suze in such a special year. It's really great for everyone, the athletes, the coaches, the fans. They're all respecting the security measures, the distances and everything. But if you look at that, it's a nice place to be. So thank you to all that allowed us to do this event. So if you see here some technical inputs, that they should try really to give turns, or to go at the front and then back, and to save energy. And if you cycle like Martin on the back, who's a stronger guy, you should probably try to go in the wheels and try to save energy, not being front into the wind. So if you feel stronger, sometimes just save energy at the back and then take your turn if it's part of your plans. But that's something you can work on in training. Try to do those different, to have those different approaches. And this is why we have this first final as well, to let the guys get more experience, to learn to do great things, but sometimes to do mistakes, and then talk with their coach and say, okay, I've done that wrong, try to find the whys and to improve again and again. So very interesting to see. Now we're almost at the end of the bike, maybe 1.5 lap to go, I'm not sure. But as you can see, Florin Parfus doing a good job staying away, 10 seconds in the lead still, so we'll see if he can hold that up to the end. You know, that's so great for the those athletes to be able to show the potential and their strength. Let's see what happens at the back of the race. So we have those 4 chasers, but then only 20 seconds behind the first chasers, we have a second group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 athletes trying to make their work together. So if we don't see them right now on the screen, but if they're doing a good job, maybe they can close a bit. You could see now, that was very interesting to see that in a corner like that, a U-turn, how difficult it is to surge and to get back into your rhythm. So very important for you, if you want to try that once, just to play with the right gears. And if you're too far at the back of the pack, then you have to brake earlier and to surge harder at the back. So it's all good things to try and practice. We can see now Florin Parfus is back in the group. Lucas Klante giving a sign to give the turn. It looks like they're getting better organized now, and they're starting to do the job like in training. It's good to see the boys doing a good job together. So let's see now who's going to take the lead, if they're going to collaborate well, because there's only 20 seconds between them and the chase back. It doesn't look like that here on the screen for us, but it's going uphill, and it's really painful for the legs, you know, because on such a short format you just go all out and it's just burning your legs. And here we got the chase group with Lucas Molnar, Robin Triponnet, Andrea Lagona, Jan Klen, Alexandre Picard, so Eric Jacober. So it's good to see them as well, and to see what they're gonna bring in. So they lost a bit of time. There's 30 seconds now between the first pack and the second pack. So it looks like the first pack is working well, and making sure the second pack won't come in. So here we are with the chase pack. So as you can see, it's not as much organized as the first group, and it may be the reason why they're a bit slower at the end. So great from the organizer to be able to film that and to see how hard it is when you're at the back of the pack to surge like that, because the others, they're already full speed and you have just to close the gap, and it's so hard on the legs. And at the end of the day, when you go and you have 2.5k run and it's hilly like it is on the run, it's just so hard for the legs. And with the cold, it may be cramping, and so that's things you can work out with your coach in training or your training group to find what's the best solution for you, the best tactic going into those things, and and that's very interesting at the end of the day, because you need to be strong in all disciplines nowadays in modern triathlon. You can see the top guys like Vincent Lewis, Alistair Brownlee, all those top guys, and now this young guy coming up, Vilacha. Yeah, you have to be really strong everywhere, and the bike is so important. So yeah, the triathlon now is getting into a new dimension, and it's so passionating to see that. So apparently they dropped someone. Martin Sauser is a bit back. They just opened a gap on him. That's all those things I was talking before, those U-turns, that's so hard for the legs. So it's so important to try to save as much energy as you can. You can see it's painful for everyone. They're all at the limit. There's no place to hide. You're just gonna have to be on your top game on search courses. We could see that on Super League format now, where they just try to push the boundaries further and further, and that's something new. And I think the athletes, when we're talking to them, they really enjoy that kind of format, because you know it's so you need to be a so good triathlete, all-rounded triathlete. You can't just do half of the things, and that's so dynamic. You have all the specificities of technical riding, you know, stop and go, riding in a group. That's really very interesting for the athletes as well to see that. So I think this first race, this championship like that in Switzerland, as being a first experience here, they're just proving the organizers that it's possible to organize such races, and it makes it so good. It's all good fun for the athletes, but the coaches and spectators as well, where they can see the athletes not just once but many times, and I think that's very positive for the sport. So going now into the transition, let's see who's going to be in a good place, who's going to be able to be fast. You know, I told you before during the women's final, you have to be on your top game. You can't lose 1-2 seconds because someone can just open the gap, and all the advantage you could have of being with someone just behind can be hard, because you have to push again a bit harder on your legs, and it's killing them. So Florian Parfus first out of transition, followed by Jeff Cook, Lucas Glante and Freddy Steil on fourth. So, and up again, up we go again up the hill, and let's see now who's gonna have the best legs. There we go, this guy from Flutrinion, Andrea Alagona, coached by my friend, down there. So good to see them here today. And let's see now if one of them can have like a strong run, with Lucas Molnar here and Robin Triponet behind. Look how good it is to have such a race where they're all in. So 4 people for the first three slots or podium slots of this race. So let's see who's gonna have the final kick. This is good to see as well. Here in this race we've got many different athletes from different clubs. So where we have people all around in Switzerland working with those young athletes, try to make them turn them as great athletes. So we have really a good mix with Florine being part of Tri Bodensee, Jeff Cook, Tri Verdun, Lucas Klante, Tristar Katz, Wallisellen, and Freddy Stahl was training with TG Hütten and our colleague Mickey Rück, and then followed by Martin Sauser, who was down in the French part with Mark Rode and Tri Vieira. So it's really nice to see all those young athletes coming from different part of Switzerland and coming together on one event to race each other. So we're heading now down to the transition area where they're gonna have to turn back and go back up the hill again for last push, last kilo on the legs. So it looks like Florian Parfus and Freddy Stahl opened the gap on Lucas Klante and Jeff Cook. So let's see now if those two at the back will be able to respond on the way back uphill. Interesting to see if the two athletes at the front push too hard or just they're feeling great and they're just going for it. Just seeing now Maxime Juera from CN Nyon, another club here in Switzerland. He's a training partner of Luca Luberti, who won the second semi-final earlier today. So let's go for the second lap. We can see now the gap is a bit shorter between the boys. It looks like Lucas Klante has been managing his pacing on the downhill. Jeff Cook slightly being dropped on the back. Let's see if he can just find some rhythm again to go up the hill. He looks like a strong guy, so maybe he prefers going uphill. Let's see. So last 1.5k, and we're gonna see who's gonna be the winner of this first final of the men, the B final. So we've got here Alagona, Andrea and Lucas Molnar going into the second round. We've got Martin Sauser as well back there, just turning now. And Eric Jacober training in Basel, so again another club here in Switzerland. Very young athletes, I think 2004-5 even. So around 3k PB of 8:56 or 8 I think recently. So doing a great job with his coach. Good development. So we're looking forward to see in the near future what he's going to be able to bring up in his triathlon career. So we're seeing now Lucas Klante pushing the pace up the hill. So here you can see in this transition area on the back, it's the pool. Great facilities here. Again, thank you to Suze, Sport Arena, and Matthias Echt for making it happen. I'm sure everyone's really happy about it. It's great for everyone to be here. It's a triathlon party. It's the final push here in Switzerland after what we're gonna have a small break here. Winter is coming. We hope COVID is not. We'll see. It's something different. We're not gonna talk about now. And there we go. So last push, last downhill. So Lucas Klante pushing it, opening a gap on Florent Parfus, and on third we've got Freddy Stahl. I must say I'm pretty proud of myself about my comment before, saying, you know, it's all about pacing yourself. You know, sometimes going. You just need to balance the energies and see, okay, this is just half of the race. There's no rush about that. Just keep the rhythm. I know I'm strong going up the hills, and I'm gonna be able to push it to the end after that. And obviously Lucas Klante did a great job into pacing himself. So I think that's good learning from him this year. Performing better in races, training more consistent, and winning this B final now. I'm sure he's going to be very pleased with that. Last race, finishing like that the year is good. I'm sure he was a bit disappointed after missing the A final, but at the end of the day he could bring a solid performance in. Same for Florent Parfus, good performance for him. Good one from Freddy Stahl, and Jeff Cook from Yverdon did a good job. Well done to all those guys. And now we've got the following guys coming in here. We've got Lucas Molnar from 3-Star Cats. Just following Andrea Lagona from Triathlon, another club, big club in Switzerland, in the Italian part, working on developing young talents. Look at them, and my colleague Dennis van der Peer. No, joking. They are all exhausted. It's so hard. So back to back on search format. They just gave it all. They're all happy and smiling now. So well done to the organization again for putting on such a great event where the athletes can just enjoy being here all together. Eric Jacobe from Basel, well done to you, young guy. And Martin Sauser coming in the finish area. So I hope you all enjoyed this first final of the men. We've got now Robin Triponnet coming in. Good experience for him, second year in triathlon. He's been injured, had a stress factor on the foot. Good learning year. Looking forward to see what he's going to bring in. We've got Maxime Juera, training partner of Robin Triponnet and Luca Luberti, and obviously of Loic Triponnet, Robin's brother. So there we go. At the end, we've got Lucas Klante, who won the race in 31:02, followed by Florent Parfus and Freddy Stahl for the podium of this first final. So we're just gonna have a short sequence highlights of this race, just to have a good overview and just getting ready for the final the final A, who's gonna name or crown the Swiss champ. So into the swimming pool, first dive, and there we go with Florian Parfus, who had a strong swim out of the water with a comfortable lead, followed by Martin Sauser, Lukas Klante, and Freddy Stahl, who stayed together up to the end of the race. A strong Florian Parfus, alone on the bike, tried to open the gap, followed by the chasers, a group of 3 who worked quite well together to close the gap and to make sure they can open a good gap on the second chase pack at the end, just before the run. So again here, Florian Parfus would try to stay as long as he could at the front, trying to push the pace, and could see at the end it was better for him to stay to get in the group with his colleagues to try to save a bit of energy, who paid off at the end, getting second for the final at the end of the race. You can see tight corners again, all those tight corners where you have to push so many watts to be able to stay in the groups, killing your legs, trying to work together as a good group here. They open the gap on the second pack, and then getting ready for the transition into this hilly course on the run. Again, a quick transition, bike in, shoes in, helmet off. Everything needs to be in the box if you don't want to get a penalty. A very good transition from Florian Parfus, getting first out into the run. And then that was the fight of the strongest at the end, who's going to be able to manage his energy the best way. And we saw a very good tactical race from Lukas Klante, who just waited his game, not rushing, not stressing, letting the guys running a bit too fast down the hills, killing the legs, and then just drop them on the second lap. So what a great way to finish a season, being able to race one more time in this difficult year, showing off to yourself, your parents, your environment that you've done a good job during this year. You've worked on different points you were able to work on. That's just part of the process leading to the top. So well done to all those young athletes, and keep working hard. You're gonna make your way up to where you want. You're gonna be the best version of yourself for sure. So it's time then to have a small break before going into the final A to crown the Swiss champion 2020. The race is gonna start in about 20 minutes, so again, enjoy your time, take a nice snack, maybe move a bit, a nice stretch, and we see us in 15 minutes for the final race of this day. Cheers!
Liebe Zuschauer, in 5 Minuten findet die Siegerehrung der Frauen statt im Zielbereich. Dans 5 minutes aura lieu la remise des prix des femmes, catégorie U20-U23 élite dans l'espace d'arrivée, dans 5 minutes. In 2 Minuten findet die Siegerehrung der Frauen statt im Zielbereich. Dans 2 minutes, nous allons procéder à la remise des prix du championnat suisse des femmes dans l'espace d'arrivée. Also wir beginnen mit der Kategorie U20, jetzt gerade gleich die Siegerehrung. Also die Athleten bitte im Zielbereich, die ersten 3.
beginnen mit der Kategorie U20 für die Schweizer Meisterschaft hier in Zosee. On va commencer avec la catégorie U20, donc le championnat suisse ici à Zosee au campus. Auf dem dritten Platz haben wir Noah Müller. Pour la médaille, la deuxième place, la médaille d'argent, c'est une romande. Il s'agit de Rebecca Betty. Bravo Rebecca! Und dann in der Kategorie U20 haben wir die Schweizer Meisterin 2020, Weber Anja, du TG Lütten. Voilà, on applaudit les trois premières, Laura Kneu, Rebecca Betty et la nouvelle championne de Suisse 2020, Weber Anja. Herzliche Gratulation. Und wir haben jetzt also die Kategorie U23 für die Schweizer Meisterschaft. Nous avons la catégorie U23. Championnat suisse. Nous commençons par la troisième place. Très belle course, il s'agit de Betty Raquel. Bravo Raquel. Und auf dem zweiten Rang Silbermedaille, il s'agit de 15 Olivia. Bravo Olivia. Und auf dem ersten Rang Iris Source, Schweizer Meisterin in der Kategorie U23. Sie ist von TG Hütten, il s'agit de Bissik Leana. Voilà, on peut les applaudir encore une fois bien fort. Bravo à ces trois athlètes. Voilà, bravo à Raquel, Olivia et Liana. Jetzt die Elite-Kategorie. Auf dem dritten Platz pour la médaille de bronze, elle vient aussi du TG Lütten. Il s'agit de König Alissa. Bravo Alissa. Ensuite, la médaille d'argent, donc zweiten Platz du canton de Paris. Il s'agit de Anne Yolanda. Et pour terminer, die Schweizer Meisterin 2020 hier in Zosee, elle est très connue, il s'agit de Nicolas Spirik. Bravo Nicolas. schwierig. Gratulation.
Welcome back here for the last time of the day, last final race, the men. We're gonna crown our Swiss champion in about 30 minutes. On the start list here, Adrian Briffaut number 1, Florian Salvisberg 2, Simon Westermann 4, Maxime Fleury 5, Fabian Meusen 6, Thibaut de Kuurne 7, Lars Ollenweger 8, Sasha Katerina 9, Luca Luberti 10th, and Alex Leio 11. That's the top 10 athletes who qualified directly for the final, and we've got the 6 fastest times following Jan Stettler, Ben Fehl, Loic Triponet, Sven Thalmann, Theo Lascha, and Adrian Haller. So looking forward to see what those boys gonna have left in their arms and legs. Like before, we're gonna go and start in the pool of Suze Campus Sport Arena. Great facilities here. Thanks again for the organization. So they're gonna have to swim 400 meters in this pool, long course, so 50 meters. They're gonna have to swim 8 times 50 meters. Then going out into the transition zone, where they're gonna jump on the bike and do 5 laps of 2Ks each, with 2 U-turns during those laps. After that, again into transition, shoes on, running shoes on, and then 2.5k run, so 2 loops in the run, quite a hilly course on the bike and on the run. So let's see who could manage the best the break in between those 2 races, the first semi-final they did and now this race. We're gonna start in about a few seconds. Don't know who's gonna be, or who's your favorite today, but we've got really some strong athlete here. So let's see. First, Adrian Briffaut raced last week at 70.3. Is he in good shape now? Has he recovered from the race? We don't know. Florian Salvisberg, who's got his birthday yesterday, is lining up against him. Did good performances this year, didn't finish in Hamburg, having a mechanical on the bike. Simon Westermann, the young talented athlete here, showing that he's coming back to good fitness after his injury during the corona time. Maxime Fleury, the Swiss Triathlon champion. So let's see. So they're in, first 50 meters, who's in the lead? Seems that Adrian Briffaut was turning first at the 50 meter. So we've got Simon Westermann here, Adrian Briffaut, Sasha Katerina here at the bottom of the screen. Florian Salvisberg here. Simon Westermann next to Florian. So yeah, let's see. It's totally different to swim in a pool or in open water. So they're all in their lane, maximum 2 people in the lane. You can see where you're going. So slightly different, but still very good to see who's able to put a solid swim. It looks like we have Fabian Meusen here with Lars Ollenweger, top two athletes. Yeah, we've got Lars in the middle, at the bottom Fabian Meusen, like the previous race, just pushing the pace on the swim. They know the good swimmers, so we'll see if they've talked to each other in between the races to see if they have a tactical race, they try to do something together. It's always something that's interesting to know. You can see a different style of swimming here. Lars was a former swimmer, like Fabian Meusen. got a nice fluid stroke, not much movement up and down, just going forward. So very symmetrical swim, so just nice, always same rhythm. We've got Fabian Mösen, who's got a different rhythm behind him. But you know, at the end you just need to find your own, what's working for you. I've had different discussions with different coaches, and, you know, it's always the same. You're gonna have to do what's best for you. There's not a single technique or a single way to get there. It's always very interesting to see that. So it looks like Lars Hollenberger is going for it, just trying to push the pace on the swim, get a nice lead on the bike. So we'll see what's going to happen. We have the chasers here on the back. Good to see everyone. We have all the top guys making the race. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Lars Hollenberger is gonna behave, or not behave. What is his tactic on the bike course now? Being alone in front of all those guys, is he going to be able to really push the pace and get away from them, knowing he's very good technically on the bike, so he may take advantage of that. So let's see, in a few seconds we're going to see that. So last few meters for Lars Hollenberger. And trust me, swimming hard like that and getting out of the water, just having to push on the arms, it's not easy at all. So there we go, we're gonna see, okay, who's gonna do what. We have all the good swimmers in here now again, so really strong swim from Lars Hollenberger. So nice, now it's a hard transition going up straight into the cold. We've got here Alexis Leio, and now back to the front of the race with Lars Hollenberger making his way to the transition, followed by the other athletes. Looks like Florence Salvisberg in second. I think Simon Westermann was in the pack as well. So let's see. They're all out of the water now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys going for it. We'll see if the others gonna be able to close the gap. We have the junior athletes, Luca Luberti in the mix. Adrien Briffaut is coming in the second pack. Let's see who's gonna have a fast and good transition now. The sun came for this final race here today, so surely a bit warmer for the athletes. We don't see anyone being on long sleeves or having gloves now. So you can see Lars could get in his bike shoes, one shoe. He's gonna have to find the time to get into the second, possibly after the first U-turn. And the last athlete's getting out of the transition area. With Theo Lacha from France, racing for 3-Team Puy. And there we go into the downhill section of the race. Really fast corners, very important to have a good line. Try to keep as much speed as you can. Very important to have good skills on your bike for that. You can save so much energy by riding the right pace. And there we go again, guys, trying to get organized. Simon Westermann, Lars Hollenberger, Sasha Katerina, our first year under 23. Florence Salvisberg, who turned yesterday 31, I think, being the oldest here in the group. We'll see what's gonna happen. So good group at the front. Here we go with Adrien Briffaut, wearing number 1 in the chase pack with Fabian Mösen and Freddy Stahl. Sven Thalmann, sorry. Yeah, Sven Thalmann, number 15. So let's see now how the groups are gonna work together. They know they've got strong cyclists behind, so let's see if they just they do the job all together. It looks like they're working well together, giving the turns. A few seconds at the front, turning, saving energy. I know they've been practicing that in training together. We were in South Africa earlier this year doing some training like that. Really strong and good training from them, so I'm pretty sure they're just taking the learning from the camps going into here, speaking to each other. Yeah, as you can see, it's very dynamic when you see those people in training and racing. They speak to each other. They just you know, giving some advice and tips, and okay, let's go and take the turn, and that. It's very dynamic, the way they're working, and that makes the race very interesting at this point. So we'll see now. So Brifor pulling the chase back. We'll see if he's able to close the gap on those top guys who are working actually very well together. So in the chase pack, we've got Luca Luberti. I think he may be the only junior with Ben Fay. Yeah, there are two juniors, Ben Fay and him, who are in the mix with Loic Triponet. So let's see what they're gonna do. We've got Jan Stettler from Geneva as well being in the mix here. Like before, did a good job on the swim. Let's see if he's able to find his legs to close the gap. So it looks like Adrian Brifor's been in the lead the whole way so far, so going really fast down the hill. They're about 15-16 seconds back, so let's see now if one guy can close the gap of a big group working very well together, like here. Florian Salvisberg pushing the pace, taking the lead on the group. Adrian Brifor trying to give the turn, but it seems that no one wants to take the lead on the group. It may be already too hard for everyone behind, or just a matter of, oh, just need to save energy, we're not gonna help you. You may be the strongest here in the pack, so just do the work. Sometimes that's a strategy, you know, as an athlete, or you talk to your coach prior to the race, and look at that now, this corner, and they have to surge again. That's so hard. So very interesting. So as you can see, going further in the day, the better are the conditions to the triathlon. I think everyone's going to be happy, and it's going to be a big triathlon party. Not after party, but you know, in terms of racing, being able to race like that all together. Fabian Meusen took the turn to try to help a bit Adrian Brifor to close the gap. We'll soon see what is the gap between the two groups. So in the first pack we've got Ben Fay. I forgot about him. So the youngest, one of the youngest here, 2002, making the job, being at the front, had a great swim. Well done to him and his coach at the National Center. We did a great job, you know, bringing such a performance here with those strong swimmers. So lots of improvements and good work done by him. Let's see now how he'll stay in the group, and how he's gonna manage his race. He knows he's in a good spot. 5 in the top group. Being the youngest, he's nothing to prove to the others. Just need to stay on his bike, save as much energy maybe, and just go for it at some point. So that's the way it is when you have the possibility to race with other people and to learn from them. So they opened a nice gap now, almost 30 seconds between the first pack and the chase group, the first chase group. So as you can see, we're speaking before for the other finals, when you have a good group of cyclists working together, it's much easier to go faster. Take your turn, you save energy in the wheels and then go back up. Here you've got Maxime Fleury who's pushing a bit, trying to come and help. So we've got in this group Maxime Fleury and Adrien Briffaut, first and second at the Swiss Triathlon Championship. So everyone knows they can ride a bike and they can run fast off a hard bike. So possibly in this group they just say, no, you have to do the work. We know you're a strong guy, you just proved it a few weeks ago by winning the Swiss Triathlon Championship, so we won't help. So, I'm trying, I hope you enjoy having an insight of the triathlon sport, not just seeing a race, but what can be the thinking behind the scene in such a race. And here those 5 guys just going as hard as they can. They know the podium can they can play the podium just between themselves. So if they go away, 30 seconds is huge over 2.5k. So they're just telling that the big guys like Adrien Briffaut, Fabian Meusen, Maxime Fleury, Sven Thalmann, hey guys, we don't want you to be in the mix for the win. So they're just a strong signs riding like they're doing now. I hope that you all the one watching the race are enjoying it and seeing that the level of racing is really high. And you know, if there was no coronavirus and things like that, I hope you guys and all the triathletes will enjoy racing in such races as well, because it's always so much learning and good fun. And that's actually why we're doing this sport every day, days in, days out, even when, you know, sometimes it's quite hard. You have to make quite a lot of sacrifices, but at the end, when you can have such a race and just bring down the training you work into a race like that, it's just great, and it's rewarding, and that's why we're doing that every day. And I'm sure all the athletes that are listening now, they may agree with me on that. So here on third we've got Luca Luberti, one of the junior athletes, who just had a great season, a very nice race in Mostiman. He turned up winning the junior race overall, had a great bike after a nice camp in Davos with the junior team this year. So that's good to see those juniors being in the lead as well, and or in the mix, and trying to put some pressure on the older athletes. We've got here with the yellow helmet Simon Westermann, a very talented athlete who raced last year his first WTS in Abu Dhabi. didn't went out the way he wanted, had a crash on the bike, which wasn't his fault, but what a nice triathlete and person, was always trying to give his best and try to have a nice environment in training. He performed 2 years ago in his first mixed triathlon relay in Nottingham. Had an awesome performance. So we've got some new young athletes developing very well and showing up. The oldest generation they're in, and they're trying to close the gap and to be better than their idols. We're seeing in the chase bike that Maxime Fleury looks like he's feeling good, like having good legs, trying to ride hard. First group now, Simon Westermann just attacked apparently, opened the gap. Let's see if it's a matter of tactical riding. They're almost at the end of the race, so it's the last lap, I think. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the riding in the first group. Was just awesome riding, like working well, and trust me, when you're in the car as a coach, you're behind and you just observe the guys and the girls riding like that, just giving turns. It's nice and smooth. It's just something awesome to watch, and you have always such good comments at the end of those trainings where the athletes are, wow, that was crazy, we're doing that and that, and you know, it's the way they have fun in training as well, having such experiences, such trainings, and then you go in a race like now. You do the job exactly the same way you did in training. There's no surprise. You just do the job, and then boom, you just show up a great performance. So I think they all enjoy doing that. So let's see now at the front of the race. Simon attacked. He's at the front. Yeah, how much gap did he? How big is the gap? Sorry, and so now you can see he's getting out of the shoes. Open the shoes. He's gonna bring his feet on the shoes very soon, and then it's gonna be, and there we go, first foot, second foot. There's the dismount line right in front of him, and there we go. So an open, oh, we forgot to turn into the transition area, and the guys are right behind him. So let's see, it's 5 guys for 3 slots. Who's gonna be the Swiss champion 2020 here in Sursee, in the Sport Arena, Campus Sursee. So good transition. Let's see who's gonna be fast. Everything in the box, shoes in. Florence Salvisberg struggling a bit. And there we go. So nice transition from Simon Westermann, and we've got in the mix. So Simon Westermann at the front, Sasha Katrina second, followed by Lars Hollenweger. Then we've got Ben Fay and Florin Salvisberg. So let's see who's going to be the strongest, who will manage his energy the best way. And now we've got the second pack getting in 40 seconds later. So let's see if Adrian Briffault is going to be able to close the gap. We know he's been racing. He raced last week 70.3 in France in awful conditions, a lot of rain. And yeah, today we're lucky we have a bit of sun. So it's not super warm, but at least we've got sun, great conditions for racing. It looks like Simon Westermann is staying away from the pack, and we've got now Florin Salvisberg chasing behind. We've got Sasha Katrina trying to follow and stay in the feet of Florin Salvisberg. Lars Hollenweger and Ben Fay slightly back. We'll see who's going to be able to manage again his energy. they need to be careful. Before we had 1 lap of 1.5k, and now we've got 2 laps to make it to 2.5k's at the end of the race. So different tactic. They need to manage the pacing very well to make sure that they have the best results at the end. So now on the top of the race and going downhill. So we've got Simon Westermann first, Florin Salvitberg second, Sasha Katarina third, fourth Lars Hollenwegen, our first junior Ben Fay here. What a great job from him. He's showing up a good race after a not so lucky race 2 weeks ago in Germany, where he was leading and crashed on the bike. What a great race from those guys. I'm sure they'll be all happy at the end, the coaches, families. It's so great for them to be able to do that. So let's see now. Florin closed the gap. Florin ran a 14, 15 or 16 on a 5k track recently. Simon Westermann's trying to break the 15-minute mark. He's been injured, had Achilles and hamstring problems, so he couldn't train the way he wanted during the COVID. But what a great race from him. He tried to take the lead and win and go for it. So what an attack now from Florin, trying to open the gap, going on the downhill. He's going to have to go back up then on the uphill for the second lap. Here the people patiently waiting in the transition area to see who's going to come first. They're going to have to turn, U-turn and go in the second round. There we go, start of the second round. Sasha Katarina following behind. What a great work from him. If you don't know, he's working as a house builder, so quite a hard job to do as a triathlete. As you know, the training is taking so much out of yourself, and then you have to go and build houses and so heavy stuff not to throw, but to deal with the whole day. So what a good race from him. That's such a nice guy. He's here in training. He came with the Swiss team in South Africa first year with the elites in a camp. What a great learning for him. He's doing a good job with his coach down in Tessin, the Italian part of Switzerland. So Christophe Bellandini is taking care of him, of Sasha. So what a good job from them. So we're here back at the front of the race with Florin still ahead of Simon Westermann. So Florin won the Swiss Championship overall ranking last year. He did have the same amount of points like Adrian Briffaut, but because he won the last race, he got the title in a tight fight with his fellow partner Adrian Briffaut. So I'm sure he's going to be happy with his race today. He was racing in France this year, and in Hamburg didn't have the expected outcome in both races, and apparently today he found better legs, and I'm sure he's going to be very happy. Lars Hollenwegen is catching up Sasha Katarina. What a good job from Lars Hollenwegen. Managed his energy really well. So what a good job. He's training at the National Center with Gordon Crawford, National Coach Elite. I think now he's just, after lots of experience and being in this environment every day, just trying to get the message we're trying to give to the athletes there about the expectations, but not only the expectations, the commitment to the sport, and the consistency of everyday training. So days in, days out. If you have a bad day, what can you do to get the best out of this day? That's great to see such athletes performing at that level now and trying to make the things happen at the end. So we're heading now to the finish line. Last few meters for Florian Salvisberg, who's gonna get the title. And here we go with Luca Luberti, who's closing the gap on Ben Fair apparently. So what a great run from him. He proved last weekend by running a 15 low on him by himself on the track that he's a good runner. And there we go with the Swiss champ 2020, Florian Salvisberg, just had his birthday yesterday. So what a great way to celebrate this birthday. What a great job by Simon Westermann, second after such a complicated year with injury, and just coming back second. Lars Hollenweger, brilliant, third place, well done. And Sasha, wow, very impressive. And what a run from Maxime Fleury, who's getting fifth, very close by, and Adrian Briffaut right behind. What a great race. Luca Luberti in here, first junior back home, just ahead of Ben Fay. And look at that, they're all kind of destroyed. They just gave it a go, and they just let everything on the ground. What good racing! Just it's a classic. So you train and you race exactly the way you train. That was so great to see the athletes collaborating like that on the bike, giving the turns, taking decisions to make it happen. That's so impressive by the guys. And as you can see, very important, everyone's respecting the rules, the security rules for everyone. Thanks to all the volunteers, to all the people being involved in the organization to make the things happen like that. Everyone is feeling safe and enjoying the racing conditions. So if we go to the final rankings, so we've got Florian Salvisberg first home, followed by Simon Westermann, and third Lars Hollenweger. This is the top 3 winning team for the Swiss champ 2020, and we've got solid performance behind with Sasha Katarina, Maxime Fleury, Adrian Briffaut, Luca Luberti, Ben Fay, Fabian Meusen, and Sven Thalmann on a good racing day here in Suze at the Sport Arena. And this is the prize giving with our top 3 athletes. I'm sure they're delighted with this great performance. You won't be able to see the big smiles behind the mask, but I can tell you, I'm sure that they're all happy with that. So I hope we'll be able to have an interview of the winner, like we did before with Nicola, and have an insight of the race, so you can have maybe better explanations than mine.
So Florian, it was the first time that we do in Switzerland this type of race with Alp final and then the final. What do you think about that, and what are your feelings today?
Yeah, I really like it. It's similar to Super League, and I always enjoy to watch it, and it's really nice. It's 2 times the race today. Maybe next time we can do even 3 times. It's really awesome for the athletes, and I hope for the spectators as well.
What was your strategy with the first semi-final? I saw that you were really concentrated on what were the where were the other one? How did you feel in the first semi-final?
Well, I felt really good. I actually wanted to stay in the group and work with the guys, but then on downhill, they were not there anymore, so I tried to push. I felt really great today, the whole day, so yeah, I'm super excited.
And it's very short. You are in Hamburg. You did very well. What is the relationship with the level here?
It's really good. Of course, you can not compare it to the high level, but Swiss athletes are really good. I'm also excited that I could work with the National League athletes, with Lars and with Simon today on the bike. We worked really well.
Okay. So thank you very much. Congratulations for your race.
Thank you so much. See you soon.
And there we go with the highlights of the final A. So into the swim, strong swim from the guys with Lars Ollenweger leading the swim, few seconds ahead of the chasers, which were Sasha Katarina, Simon Westermann, Florin Salvisberg, and Ben Fay. Sven Thalmann was in the mix as well. And that's where we see the transition is key in such a short triathlon. Fabian Meusen was in the mix as well, and we could see we lost them because of the transition. So strong performance here, where the guys work together to stay away from Adrian Briffaut and the chase group. On a fast course where we could see athletes working well together. So great work from the team here, going on those tight corners where it's killing your legs just to push hard. You could see the first group cycling very well together, opening the gap. Good communication, going up the hills, turning. Maxime Fleury, who looked like very strong on the bike, but couldn't make the difference to close the gap with the front guys who were really pushing hard and working well together. At the end of on the last lap, we saw Simon Westermann trying to open a gap just to make sure he could get in safe position in the transition and open a small lead for the run. Part of his race strategy for sure, with a very good transition from Simon and Lars Ollenweger, and a bit of difficulties for Florin Salvisberg to get on the track but stay in the pack, which saved him quite a bit of energy. Strong performance for the guys, where we could see the attack from Florin Salvisberg on Simon Westermann on the downhill, and then could maintain his lead up to the finish line. Last small event during the race, Lars Ollenweger just taking the third place in front of Sasha Katarina to complete the podium, with Florin Salvisberg first home, second home Simon Westermann, and third one Lars Ollenweger. I hope you enjoyed this good racing from the Swiss guy here in Sursee. I hope to see you soon, maybe in the World Cups later this year. And if you have your season break, just enjoy the season break, get back to good training, and see you next year for a very exciting racing. Enjoy and see you soon. Cheers.
können wir noch machen, wenn wir das Velo oder nachher können wir da ausschützen.
Bin ich dabei.
Ich erlaube mir jetzt das Velo, das schöne Segafredo Track ist auf Englisch.
Nicht alles Dreck.
Ah, das ist gut.
Das ist etwas gleich. Das ist ja etwas gleich, ne?
Du hast ja mal zwei Regeln, gell? Und treten musst du.
Sommer auf Tour gewesen und über den Grossglockner. Aber mit dem Schuh.
Das ist ja genau die Größe, glaube ich. Wenn das nicht über das mitnehmen.
Falsche